So, what's up? Welcome to the class. Today, I'm just going to go over using the different bots in the channels, in the Discord. I mean, obviously, you see there's a bunch of stuff here in the Discord. And I just want to make sure y'all have a clear understanding of how to use these bots that are, like automatic or AI-based bots, right? So, not everything you see in the group chat that has the word bot next to it is a full bot, right? So I said I was going to answer these questions first. So if you look at, for example, like Kenny, right? Kenny's a crypto trader. He trades crypto futures. He sends his alerts through a bot, but this is him, right? Obviously, like this is somebody typing this. This isn't a bot, didn't generate this, right? Going to bed, we'll look for more trades tomorrow. Like, that's not a bot, right? So these are real people. They just are sending their alerts out in that format. Same with Ox, same with Paxton, right? Real people sending out real things. And they are in multiple servers. So I do want to set that understanding that if you do tag them like Moneybags, Lethal, Eva Panda, Pacer Prince, they're in a lot of servers, these people are. So their response time probably won't be super fast because they are in a bunch of different places at once. So just keep that in mind. Get a little light. So keep that in mind, all right? But these are real people. And then these bots down here that are under the sections that are called info bots, signal bots, right? Those bots are actual bots that pull different data and information. I bet I just kicked somebody out on accident. That pull different data and information based on what you input, or the AI bots, the info bots, they automatically populate stuff throughout the day. Okay, so I'm gonna hit these two first questions that we're talking about before. So Craig asks, what did it take for me to take the jump and leave the full-time job? It took confidence and consistency. So I didn't leave my job, and I'll just go ahead and share a number with y'all, just for like real perspective. I didn't leave my job until I had at least 2 months in a row where I brought in over $15,000 in that month. All right. So once I had $15,000 and I brought it in 2 months in a row, I felt like I could leave the job. There was some extra stuff that happened at the job that made me leave a little earlier than planned. I wanted to build up into being consistently bringing in $20,000 a month, which sounds crazy. I don't need $20,000 a month to live, but building up that safety nest, building up that, the emergency fund, and then having extra flexibility, I think is what it is for me, and why I said, those are the numbers I want to have before I decide to make that move. So there's your answer for that, I guess, is really just having that money there. Cool. And then the other question was, before we get to the bots, in order for a lower time frame to flip to a higher time frame into continuity, what does it have to take out? The opening or closing price of the higher time frame. So you need to see, and that'll be better asked like on that live trading session we did today. But you would just want to see whatever it is flip. But usually I'm going off the closing prices. I'm going off the close. So once I get a close above a new level, like a new higher high close made, so not just a high, because the high can just be a wick, but with the close, that's signaling to me that we are making that transition and that move into a new trend. All right. So that being
with
said,
them, baby.
Hopefully that helps. Thank you for helping him get muted. All right, let's run through these bots. So starting with the info bots, we got order flow. All right, so for those who don't know what order flow is, you're gonna see order flow come up a lot. Order flow is just giving you a look into options trades that are having heavy buying, right? So premium spent is how much these trades were paid for, right? So somebody spent 500 or at fund or whatever, right? Dropped $523,000 on Boeing puts that expire on the 20th of January in 2023, right? So these are just large orders that come through. There's sweeps, there's block orders. And I'm not gonna get too like deep in detail and break down like all these extra fancy terms. I'm gonna try to keep this kind of basic so that I can make sure everybody understands what the end of the day, what it means, right? Same thing with all the chart patterns. Yeah, you can go learn all these different candlestick patterns, all these different chart patterns, right? But what's most important is you understand what they mean, not what they're called. Abandoned doji and abandoned baby and crocodile moon shooting star upside down tweezer. I mean, those, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, those, you don't need to worry about all that. And I know I messed up the words on those. I did that intentionally. You just need to know what it means, right? The hammer candle is showing you that price bounced off of this level and closed with the bullish direction. That's what matters. It doesn't matter whether you call it a hammer candle, whether you call it a pin bar. What matters is you know what it means and you can trade off of that. So that's what this order flow is showing you. Trade Etiquette does track what happens after these are put out. I mean, they are usually, you know, you can get profit off these. I would say with anything that comes from one of these bots, again, these are not people. The other ones are. Anything outside of this area are people. But of course, the blanket statement is none of this is financial advice. We're not advisors. None of us are advisors. This is all just what we're doing or our opinions on things. I would say with anything, you want to double check. You want to do your own due diligence on what you're getting into. All right, so don't just see it come through and say XLE puts 2.32 million in puts were put on these 75 strike for January of 2023. That doesn't mean to automatically go buy that, right? Go look at XLE. Puts a lot of times can be hedges against long positions and shares. So see if what you're thinking is aligned with that, right? For Oxy, this has a closer expiration. See if your thinking is aligned with that. You pull up the chart and Oxy looks like it's about to rip. You know that oil has been doing great recently. You think oil is going to continue to go up. Then you're not buying puts, right? So we're not buying things just because it comes across. What this does is can give you an idea of where money is flowing, or shows you where money is flowing. But then it's on you to decide if you want to move along with it or not. Okay. Large sweeps. So these are just large sweeps, right? Same kind of concept. So a sweep is when the orders come through. Orders are placed across multiple different exchanges trying to get filled at the best price. And they're basically just sweeping it all up, right? So they're trying to get it filled in aggressively. Somebody in the chat said, it looks like those puts would have worked out today. They would. But same concept here is this is just showing you where large money is flowing into. So again, not to say take it with a grain of salt, but don't take it as a trade signal or something to immediately follow just because it came through, right? Look at what's coming through, see if you want to go do your own analysis on it. And it gives you enough ideas where you can just say, man, I want to make a trade today, but I don't know what I want to trade. You can pop over here and then go see if there's something that you might feel aligned with or think that's a good idea to follow suit, and then you make that move. Right? And that's how I used any of these bots. So if you do see something come up and you're like, oh man, Jourdan traded that too. I might have saw it on a bot. I might not have saw it on a bot. If I put in the chat, okay, I'm about to go try to find something to trade because I'm not seeing anything when I'm looking at my charts, then I might come look at the bots and I'll be like, okay, a large order came across for PayPal, 85 strike, 715 expiration. That's a month from now. All right, let me go look at PayPal's chart and see if I would be comfortable buying a call for a month out with the 85 strike. If I look at it and I'm like, okay, aside from what the bot showed, if I had looked at the PayPal chart on the daily time frame for a swing, I would rock with it. All right, cool. I might go ahead and take that trade. So that's how you would use it for ideas. It's kind of like a first step, kind of like a lead, but it doesn't mean I'll automatically take it. So analyst upgrades, pretty straight and narrow. It's just going to show you different upgrades from different companies or stocks. So it's giving you the stock right here. Oh, man, I hope you all right. Do some more, my guy. All right. So you got CCL. I think CBRL is Cracker Barrel. Carnival Cruise Line, right? So just different companies that are getting upgraded. Again, same kind of concept here. A lot of times you'll see upgrades lead to some movement in the stock, right? Because that's new for a particular stock. So like all these upgrades for this energy company, that could lead to a big move in that company, right? They got moved up to outperform, overweight, buy, upgrades, all of this, right? And these are all recent, 6.9, 6.7. Today is 6.10. These are all recent upgrades. So you can look for a potential move from these, especially if you're going to be buying shares, then I think that makes it a lot easier. With options, you don't really know how quick. Some people do trade upgrades. I don't. But sometimes it can be something that makes the stock move. But I don't think, and you could back test this, right? This is one of those things when I talk about back testing and testing different things out. You could go through here and say, okay, let me go see what all had upgrades last month on a particular day and see how they performed over the past month and see if that's any good indicator. If you just bought in the day that the upgrade alert came through, right? See what happens. And that's when you start digging deep. That's the type of things when we talk about, it's not about how long you've been trading, but it's about what you've done in the time that you've been trading. Doing those type of things is what starts to separate you from the other people who've been trading for a year, because you're digging in deeper, trying to get greater understanding and giving yourself an edge, right? So this could be something that gets added to your tool belt. Insider trading. Okay, so this is just showing you insider transactions, and maybe I should change the name. But this is showing you insider transactions. So there's different people like CEOs, CFOs, COOs, people who have to legally report when they're making transactions on the company they work for's stock, right? And so something that I've heard a couple of times is people will sell their stock for plenty of reasons. They might want to raise capital for something, pay taxes, do new acquisitions, right? But people only buy into a company for one reason. That's because they think that it's going to increase in value, right? So I would pay more attention to the buys, right? Looking at stuff like this, RPTX, and that might be a pharmaceutical company. Pharmaceutical companies can move a lot out of the blue. So that might be something to just keep an eye on if over 13 million got bought in RPTX. And you can go to FinViz. That's one site I like to use that can give you this results, the answers for free, as far as who bought what, see how many shares they bought, which is shown here. And you can kind of break it down from there. But I'm putting up RPTX on my phone just so I got it for later. All right. But that's insider transactions. I can change that. But it's just going to give you more ideas. And again, this is stuff that can help you get a gauge for maybe even your own positions, right? If you're holding Monster Beverage Corporation as a stock in your portfolio, and you come here and you see Monster is getting sold off by somebody who works for the company, right? Maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I was already thinking about selling it. Maybe I will. But again, typically lean more towards the buy side. Important news, all right? Easy enough. So important news is going to show you, excuse me. Yeah, don't ask what's in this cup. Important news is going to show you important news across different stocks, right? So that's all that is. And it's going to have different companies that, again, could have stuff that leads. I spilled it too. She knows what we talked about while I was on the phone. Anyway, it's going to show you different things that are going on in the with different companies. And so, you see NEO, you see PayPal, right? So if you are into news, or you are somebody who wants to trade based off of news for specific stocks, then you could come check this out. Dark pool. People always ask, what in the world is a dark pool? Cool. Dark pool is going to show you where a bunch of money is going into, but they're doing it on private exchanges, so that they're not messing up the market. But the easiest way to look at this is pretty much similar to what I was saying before with the other ones. It's just money is flowing into these. So you want to say, okay, GLRE, $144 million just got put into GLRE, right? And these can be used not as signals per se for equity positions, but I have seen in the past that a lot of times after these get big amounts put into them, they move, right? So that's another thing that you could go, if you are somebody who wants to get analytical, who wants to start trading their own trades, because a lot of people will sit around and say, man, I'm waiting on Jourdan to make a call out or what's next. And it's cool and all, right? But again, for those who don't know, are familiar, the whole point that my team and I are trying to do with this Discord is create people who are educated and empowered traders. And although you can wait for me to call something out, or Zay or JJ or Avery or whoever, we want you to also start getting to the point where you're making your own trades and you're doing your own analysis and you're finding your own patterns, right? And that's going to help you become a better trader, of course, when people like Moody took off this week. You know, I had 3 days where I was out the check because I was in Mexico. JJ took off a week. Avery's taking off a week, right? So if your favorite trader takes off a week, does that mean you're just not making trades? All right. So we want you to be able to do that. And then, of course, you know how to manage positions where I call a trade, my phone dies, and you're sitting there like, I don't know what to do. Should I buy? Should I sell? Where's Jourdan at? All right. We want you to be educated. So that's why I'm providing this information right now. All right. Social spike. This is what it says. It's just going to show you different stocks that are starting to appear across social media. I want to say this pulls from Twitter, Reddit, probably StockTwits. I haven't confirmed that, but I've seen similar information in the past, and that's where that stuff has come from. So if y'all got any questions about any oh, geez, I missed. Oh, what? Okay, I missed all these. Let me go back. So we didn't even do this. All right, let me hit y'all with these. They were hidden from me. If y'all ever are going through channels and y'all see some of the stuff like missing, just hit that little arrow on the side. Because if it's like this, if the arrow is pointing to the actual channel name, then it's just showing you stuff that you haven't looked at recently. So unread. If you click it and it's pointing down, it's going to show you everything under that list. So a lot of times people say, well, I can't find Jourdan's channel, or where's this other channel? You just got to hit that arrow and it'll show you stuff that you haven't looked at. So interactive bot. If you got questions, drop them in the chat. This bot and the commands are over here. All right. So this bot gives you a ton of information. It'll pull news, it'll pull performance, it'll pull charts, it'll pull options flow. But usually what I use it for is options flow, charts, and futures. So you can come in here and just pull whatever data you want to pretty much. All right, and you see people have been using it to check flow. You can check technical analysis levels, resistance, support, fibs, right? Flow, futures, charts. All right, so this is the easy way to get information without wanting to go around and Google different things. You just pull stuff like this up real quick. I check the chat real fast. What we got in the chat? Where's Jourdan? Appreciate the education, not just the trades, for sure. Teach a man to fish, exactly. Where do you begin as far as the knowledge? You're new to the chat. So I say if you're new to the chat, then hop on classes like this, right? And ask questions. If you're new to trading, I do have a free course for beginners specifically. And you can see that under the course section, which maybe could be under education, but under trading courses is where you can see all my courses. Here's my free beginners course, which is free, right? And then here is my course bundle, which is given to all lifetime members complimentary. I think there's like 2 or 3 people I got to get that over to. If you're lifetime, drop a support ticket. I'll make sure you get taken care of. And then if you're not lifetime, it's only like $19.99 a month, but you get access to every course that I create. The profit counter is separate because that's a service. But I would say start there, hop on these classes, ask questions, and then all classes that we have get recorded and put in my video lessons. So here's the thing I did yesterday where I did Q&A on Zoom. There's JJ's $500 challenge account review. Here's my live trading from the day before. All right, so this is Beans class, the Wizards class, JJ. Dang, bro, I've been doing a lot. All right. But yeah, I would say go through there. And then if you need more information with stocks, options, crypto, Forex, all right, you can go through those sections. Do I ever promote members to work with other members that are local to them? I'll never tell y'all to go meet up with anybody. The world is crazy. At the end of the day, we all are cool in the group chat, but man, we've done in-person meetups before, but I would never tell somebody to go meet up with somebody in the group because at the end of the day, like, we don't really know each other, right? So keep in mind, safety is important. Y'all protect yourselves. Y'all not finna be like, well, I was in Jourdan's group chat and then such and such. Nah, I ain't doing that. I'm not liable. I'm only liable for y'all wins. Any losses y'all take is not on me. All right. Do I use the bots in my trading? Sometimes. So like today on live, I pretty much just had SPY up. The only trade I took today, I think, was SPY. The only new trade I took in the beginning of the day was SPY. So I didn't use any of the bots today. But sometimes I'll check them. So if I'm looking for a trade and I don't see anything, if I'm just flipping through, I'll go and look at those. And I might make a move off of those. All right. All right. See some more questions in the chat. I'm gonna wrap up this info bot section. Keep dropping your questions. I'm gonna wrap up the info bot section, and then I'll go ahead and get back to the chat with the questions. So, Trendsetters. This bot is actually run by a person as well, right? You can see here somebody, they put going to send the daily watches out tomorrow. All right. This is also a person who's sending out their own analysis every day. And I pay them to do that. So I guess I'll go ahead and put that out there as well. Like all this stuff isn't free, right? And even the interactive bot is a free version, but I'm about to go ahead and upgrade it. The other ones aren't free. Like all this order flow, the insider transactions, the analyst upgrades, the news, the dark pool, all that stuff ain't free, bro. Trendsetters giving these levels, and people have said they've used these levels and made money a lot of the time. This is somebody who I've paid to provide a watch list in here every day. And they do a good job with it, right? So if you're looking for an additional watch list, we have Eva Panda who drops a watch list every day. Trendsetter's watch list gets put out here every day. And then you'll see some of our watch lists, if we are making a watch list, get put into the chat as well. Today was a prime example of why I stopped making watch lists, because I think everything on a watch list I set the previous night. Because of the gap down, it completely invalidated most of my analysis. My stuff opened at my target profit levels. So it just made no point. But Trendsetter's analysis. This is where the dude who runs the Trendsetter's watch list also sends analysis, right? And so here we go. He's talking about the hourly inverted head and shoulders, right? Giving patterns, giving support levels. I'll even give trade ideas as well. Right. So very useful, very helpful, right? Here's a contract right here that you can look at taking based on Amazon. All right, so another one to come in and look at. And then golden sweeps are just larger sweeps. I haven't figured out exactly what gets them put over here. Maybe it's above $500,000. But you can see this is just going to filter out pretty much larger sweeps. So I can see this $4 million Amazon, a bunch of 2 millions and 1 million. So 4.5 million. So that's where you come if you're trying to look exactly for big money. Get muted. All right. I'm gonna pop back in the chat, see what other questions we got going on. What's the profit calendar? Profit calendar is a full breakdown of stocks that have seasonal trends in the market and what dates are best to buy them and sell them based on past patterns, right? So, for example, and I forgot the dates. I think this was one of them, but like Monster Energy drinks, like that company, Monster Beverage Company, November 11th to maybe December 4th, like the past 16 years or so, they've averaged maybe about 7% in total gain over that time frame, which is like 3 weeks. They've averaged about 7% move over that 3-week time frame, and that happened, or it's been a positive trade during that time frame the past like 16 or 15 times out of 17. So the profit count is where I break down the full list of trades just like that. And what he really used it for, and what I used it for when I created it, was swing trade ideas that were already set, already had historical success. And hey man, if I'm boring you, bro, you can bounce. But no, so it's all based off of historical data, right? And just like simple concepts like airlines pick up more volume, and airlines pick up more revenue around travel seasons, like holidays, around summer, people are out on vacation, right? Gyms get more signups for New Year's resolutions, right? Apple, Nike, Amazon, you know, they might see a lot more money coming in around Christmas and Black Friday, right? And you can go see what stocks have correlations with that type of stuff. And then you just trade it over and over and over again. So those three, I know for sure, Nike, Apple, Amazon usually do really good in December. And that might be tied to those events, but then again, it might not be. And frankly, I don't care why, as long as I can make money off of it. So if I know it happens, I make money off it. If you're new to Jourdan, Jourdan tries to trade as simple as possible. What's the minimum amount of effort I need to do and minimum amount of stimuli I need to get a bag? And I'm gonna get that bag, all right? But that's the profit counter. Check it out. I have it set up for you to get a free month on it, so check it out. What do you believe is more important, saving or investing? I think it depends on where you're currently at, right? So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, I think it's more important to begin budgeting and then move into saving some stuff aside. And then once you have 6 months of emergency funds saved up, then I think that's when you start having investing just leads and runs away with the lead, because it's still, everything depends on your goal, right? But if your goal is to become financially free, if your goal is to be able to make larger purchases, if your goal is to do anything that requires you to have more money, investing is going to give you a greater chance at getting more money than saving is going to get, right? And you can only save money you bring in. So if Jourdan makes $300,000 a year, and TJ, since TJ who's asked the question, if TJ is making $50,000 a year, and we both figure out a way to save 25% of our income, who's going to have more money? All right, Jourdan. All right. So TJ could get to that level by investing, and not just investing in stocks, but also investing in real estate or businesses and other assets. But that's where I think investing definitely comes. So saving, build up that safety net. Saving is like the foundation, and then everything else can be built once you have a stable foundation to fall back on if you need to. Is there a class for technical analysis that can be purchased a la carte? Yeah, you can buy my technical analysis class separately. You can go in the bundle and just click on the swing trading class. That's my full technical analysis course. It's probably better for you to get the bundle, but it's up to you. We do technical analysis classes in here as well. So we do chart classes. Every week, somebody's covering some type of charts. Moody usually does chart classes on Thursdays. JJ will do trade reviews, which involves her charting, on Wednesdays. And then Jay does charts on Sunday. And then Zay and Avery do a class on Sundays as well. And sometimes it's charts. I think Zay usually does show charts. So you could get the course. You could also hop on the class and go through the lessons as well. Get muted. All right. When I see you in the Dennis, am I sending a DM about a 15% commission-based fee service? No, somebody else messaged me and said they got a DM from me that I inbox about a guided trading opportunity. I'm not gonna DM y'all. Y'all hear me talk about enough about how many DMs I got and how I only check DMs like every other day or every 3 days. I'm not gonna DM y'all first unless like there's a problem. But if there's no problem, y'all not gonna see me DM y'all first. So no, anybody, like if y'all get that, put it in the spam section of the chat, please, like right now. So we can go ahead and get somebody kicked out who's potentially trying to scam y'all. Yeah, so please put that in the chat so we can make sure we get these folks knocked out who are trying to scam y'all. I'm not sending y'all any DMs. I'm putting, that's why I paused just now, so I'm sending a message in the chat. Yeah, I'm not DMing y'all. And same thing with Instagram. There's a bunch of fake pages that try to pretend to be me and try to go recruit people and sign people up. And I'm not DMing y'all like for real. Let's go. And then after a couple more questions, it's 8:42. I'm gonna move on to the other bots, the signal bots, and go ahead and knock those out. All right, cool. I'm pretty much. All right. Do I have any advice on how to improve your patience? Yeah, so thinking about improving patience, first thing that think about, or one thing you could think about is looking at what's worked and what hasn't worked, and slowing down, you know. Think about it kind of like if you're driving, right? If you're driving very aggressively, then you're more likely to end up in a wreck. You're more likely to cause a crash, right? If you drive more calmly, more patiently, you're less likely to get messed up. Same thing with trading. If you're trading aggressively, you're more likely to mess yourself up. If you're trading patiently, then you're usually better off. Let the trades come to you, right? So there's so many stocks you can trade. There's so many setups. There's so many patterns. There's so many days you could trade, right? But there's no reason to try to force yourself to do anything, because when you're forcing it, you decrease the chances for success. So for me, I'm I'm not very patient. I'm not very patient. I'll admit it. I'm not very patient. So how do I, as somebody who's typically more like, antsy or on edge or whatever the phrase is, how do I cope with that? I learned multiple strategies. I've learned numerous strategies. So if I don't see a setup with strategy A that I know on any of the stocks on my list, then I'll see if strategy B is available. If that's not available, then I'll go to C. And if that's not available, then I'll go to D, right? So I'm gonna find something if I want to find something. But what I'm not gonna do. I found this on the web. Siri, I want to talk to you. But what I'm not gonna do is force anything because I think it might maybe look like it could. Nah, you gotta say all that. No. So that's what helps me. Instead of trying to improve patience, I just learned more strategies so that I can still trade if I don't see something. The other thing is just keeping in mind that you're in this to make money. And if you look at your trading and you can see that waiting for certain confirmations improves your chance of success, then think about it like that. Hey, when I rush into these trades, I typically lose more money. I can make more money or at least keep more money by not rushing into this trade. So it becomes more advantageous for me to just be patient than to hop in. And then last question I'm gonna answer real quick is, have I used Bookmap? No, I'm not sure what that is. All right, so I'm gonna get to the rest of the questions. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the signal bots. So signal bots, again, not free. All right, signal bots, stock breakouts. So this is gonna show you different breakouts across different stocks. All right, so straightforward naming, straightforward bot. So it's gonna just show, okay, cat breaking out on the daily, and it's showing you the chart as well. All right, pull it up. So you see cat has this resistance around what might be like 220, 225, we'll call it just for the sake of the class. And then it's breaking through right here. All right, so that's all I was gonna show you. That's on the daily chart, Alibaba breakout on the daily. Hourly chart, right? MLY, ALT. All right, so that's what this is gonna show you. And again, it's just trade ideas, right? It's gonna show you breakdowns as well. So whether you're looking for calls, whether you're looking for puts, you can see stuff like that. You can go ahead and start looking at potential opportunities, right? Support here, support here. Now we have a strong bearish candle breaking through support, which means we could see a potential further drop. And so that's all it's showing you, right? And you could take a trade off of this. All right, to answer the question, I know somebody might then ask is how do I choose what strike or what expiration? If it's an hourly breakdown or hourly breakout, then I'll probably just go, this is me, I'll probably just go one strike out the money with at least 3 days on expiration, right? So what I mean by that is if it's breaking down on an hourly and it's a Thursday, then I wouldn't get the Friday expiration, right? I just get the week out expiration. And sure, it might make the move on Friday. Friday would have made me 80%. Next week makes me 30%. Okay, cool, whatever. I still made money. Right? So we're not chasing the highest possible ROI. We're not chasing the fancy screenshots. We're chasing account growth like that. Put that on a shirt, put that on a tweet, write that down. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool to show how much you made on one trade. And this isn't like a shade or nothing, But what matters more is you being able to show an account and say, hey, the past 3 months, I've been consistently profitable. The past 3 months, I've grown my account by 20%. Right? The market average year over year is 10%. To me, if you grow your account 20% over 3 months, you win. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's more important. So that goes to just my point of you're better off getting at least 3 days of expiration. So if it's going in on Tuesday, maybe you do get a Friday. And then on a daily chart, definitely get 2 weeks is really what I'll do. But that's me. All right. So we see that for stocks. We also see it for crypto. For those who are trading crypto or want to trade crypto, same sort of deal. Gives you a chart, tells you what time frame is breaking out on. And then, of course, you can choose to go make a trade on that if you would like. And then we have bot signal ideas. All right. So they update this on Trade weekly as well. And I think what it said was, this is kind of like 50-50, I think. So I was previously confused with the success rate of these bots. Thing to keep in mind is it's kind of hard to gauge because realistically there is no exit given. So you can hit the tracking link on any of these and it'll pull up a little chart that shows you, where the signal was called and what price and things of that nature. But again, I would say when you see stuff come through, if you are going to go off of this, then you are going to want to use your own analysis, right? You're going to want to pull up the chart. And when you pull up the chart, you're going to want to go and you're going to want to go see what's going on and then choose whether or not you want to make that move. All right, but you're not just making moves immediately just because it pops up. All right. So let's go to the next. And that would be Strat Trades. So this is going to give you trade ideas based on strat patterns, something that you can just go look up. A lot of these will be like inside bar or outside bar breakouts or breakdowns. It's giving you an entry, it's giving you an exit, it's giving you a stop loss. All right, so you can look at these. Siri, leave me alone. So you can look at these and get trade ideas as well, right? Go look at the chart. So just like I said with anything else, whether it's called out by a person or a bot, I think you should still always go look at the chart and see if you agree with the trade or not. And you'll see people in the chat talk about it. You don't have to voice if you disagree with the signal, right? And I will say that pertaining to like chat etiquette, because we've had it where people will kind of get into it with folks who try to make a deal out of things. Well, Jourdan, you called puts here and it's doing this, this, and that on this time frame, and all right, but I saw something that made me go puts. Okay, you can have your own viewpoint, bro. If you trade in a daily time frame, because it's that support on a daily, but I'm trading a 1 minute chart, then it really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So I would say if you are looking at somebody's chart, if you are looking at somebody's chart like we call a trade, just ask why. Right? Ask why we took the trade. Ask what we saw. And that happens with me a lot of times. People say, what made you take that trade? And I'll send in a chart and be like, this is why. Or I'll say, I saw it in the bot trades. And then I went and looked at the chart and it looked like XYZ. Or I saw a bunch of options flow come through and it had $3 million come through on calls when normally it doesn't even trade that much. And then it's in an uptrend and whatever. So I'll say that. But again, with this, do your due diligence. And then similar to this, we have the crypto signals. Same concept, where it's giving you entries and exits, potential profit levels. And again, you can take these if you would like to, right? Do your own analysis. And that's the bot. So keep putting questions in if y'all have questions. Like I said, for anybody who missed it, anything in these sections aren't people, right? Besides Trendsetters. Trendsetters is the actual person that's running it. But they're not going to see them in the chat or be able to tag them or talk to them. They have it branded to just show as my stuff. But then the other ones that have bot next to them, right? Like Kenny, like I showed earlier, This is an actual person. I've tagged Kenny in the chat and we've like talked in the chat before. So this is an actual person. All right. Y'all got questions? Let me know. I'm gonna pop the chat back open. What advice can I give to someone who has poor entries? Figure out why your entries are poor. All right. Like a lot of this stuff is just looking intrinsically. You know, look at yourself and see what you're doing and how you can improve it. If you feel like you're entering too early, then go look at your entries and say, how can I have a later entry? If you feel like you're entering too late, then look at your trades and then say, okay, what could have shown me this entry earlier? And if you watch the live from SPY today, right, I gave I had 3 SPY put entries today. One on a break and close below 393.25, one off of 3 rejections of 394.50, and then there was another one that I caught on the live, but that was like the move was already done. People who caught my first call out were up 70%. People who caught the second one were only up 10%, right? So if that was like your actual trading, then go back and look and say, what could I have seen earlier that could have signaled this for me? And that's when you can start throwing on an indicator or two and be like, oh man, well, if I saw it had a MACD cross up there, that maybe I would have known to get in, right? Maybe, you know, but you can't, you know, a lot of times people are like, look in hindsight and then try to use hindsight as like, oh, I would have did this, you know, right? That's not always the case. You gotta keep it real with yourself. And that's something like I do, even when I do Zoom trainings. I did a Zoom one-on-one with one of our lifetime members last night or 2 nights ago. And we went and did replay training. Like I showed y'all on TradingView, you can go back and look at, if you have a paid version, you can go back and look at candles that are old and replay them in kind of like in real time. And I had like, you know, hey, we would have won. We did like 3 days of one stock, like a random stock. And one day we would have won all of our trades. One day we would have won one, lost one, right? Just keep it real with yourself. But just go look at your entries. Go look at your past trades and figure out why you did what you did. But if you're entering, if you don't have like a solid entry reason, like you go to my chat, all right? And this is, I think this is another part of you being able to learn from yourself. You got to give yourself something to learn from. But if you're just entering because, oh, I think it's going to drop, you can't go study and learn from that. So scroll. All right. So right here is where I said SPY. This is 8:43 a.m. I'm in Central Time right now. So this was 13 minutes into the market. I said SPY 1 minute close below 393.25. Out Lotto a 390 put. No cap. I don't think I want to trade SPY to that huge gap. All right. Okay, cool. We put, and I sent the chart in. I send these in so y'all can go look at what I'm talking about. So y'all can learn this stuff. I'm not sure who is unmuted because I can't find them. One of my co-hosts, please help me out with that. Okay. I don't know who that is. But I'm gonna just talk over it. All right. So y'all see the chart pulled up. And you see me showing, right? Okay, so at this point we hadn't even made it. And you know that SPY ended up going down to 389 at some point today. It pushed down to 390. All right, so this is me showing you what I was looking at. And we have these wicks down here. And on the live trading, I explained the entry. But that's how you can get better. And you can go look at it and be like, okay, I entered because of this. What could I have seen? So give yourself something to study. Study yourself. I think that's how you get better entries, is by learning that. It's a way for me to just mute everybody. I can't figure it out. I'm probably gonna share my screen. All right, moving on to the chat though. Pete Nate's channel Yep, can't wait to say that. What videos do I suggest to watch to be prepared for the challenge? You're still somewhat confused on out the money and the money lingo. Um, so when it comes to that, first you want to figure out what brokers you're using and figure out how to use your brokerage. Right? There's tons of brokerages out there. So I would say whatever brokers you're using, especially if you're new to them, just Google a basic walkthrough. If you're using the mobile version or the desktop version, YouTube will walk through and then watch it so you can learn how to trade options on Webull, how to trade options on E-Trade, how to trade options on Robinhood, how to trade options on Tastyworks, how to trade options on TOS, whatever, right? When it comes to understanding out the money, in the money, you can look in the vocabulary chat, which is kind of there and it looks nice, but I don't think anybody ever really goes in it. Or if it's certain stuff, like if it's specific things that you don't know or you're trying to learn about, like those are the type of things that you should look up. So if you know, you can of course ask the question, but I think if it's something like I know I'm confused about what out the money is, then I would say that's something you should look up so you can have multiple resources pull up that can explain it to you in a bunch of different ways. Because of course I can answer it right now, but that doesn't mean that you'll understand it completely how I explain it. So I would say do that. Yeah, thanks for sharing it, D. Yeah, I do take 3 days to respond to DMs a lot of times. So if y'all get a DM from somebody and they respond in the same day consistently, it probably ain't me. Probably ain't me. Why is Nate's education in a different spot? He sends signals too. Nate's not, so Nate sends some signals sometimes, but Nate's primary role in the server is to provide education. And I think what Nate's been doing was running a $500 account. I mean, not 500. Nate was running a $50 account. He's been building that $50 account. And so, although he's taking trades and sometimes he's giving them out, that's to show y'all that you don't have to start with a bunch of money to build an account. You could start with $50 to build an account. It's a lot harder. It's a lot more time consuming, but that's what it's for. What did I see for me to swing SPY puts today? Oh, I just showed that. So I guess we kind of covered that. How do I properly analyze a contract to see how profitable it'll be and if it's worth your time? So that's probably more so when you start getting into the Greeks. I personally don't just look at the Greeks too often. Like I said before, I kind of give myself different rules to account for the Greeks, but I'm not sitting there looking at delta, gamma, rho, vega, theta every time I'm thinking about making a trade, especially because I'm trading off of 1 minute. So by the time I sit there and go look at 4 different strikes and look at 4 different contracts and look at all their Greeks and do a bunch of math, the move I'm looking at is already moving, bro. So usually to deal with delta, I just grab a contract that's 1 strike out the money or at the money. To deal with theta, I usually just get 1 more week of time than I think I need if I do swing. So if I am thinking about a move that's going to happen in 2 weeks, I'll get 3 weeks out. And then I'll still close it 2 weeks, right? So I still have a whole week of time left on it. And so to further go with that, I don't talk about stuff I don't do. So I'm not going to go any deeper and try to give you some answer that I don't got. You can do that back testing on Thinkorswim. Yeah, you sure can. Thanks, Dana, for mute all. I think I can't mute everybody when I'm sharing my screen. It gives you like different permissions when you're sharing your screen from what I'm looking at. So could make it out there. Cool. I just made it so y'all can't mute yourselves though. All right. Let's go. What range do I use for the pivot high-low indicator? The default is 10. I think the default might be, yeah. I usually use 3. So I'll use 3, I'll use 5. And that's the only indicator I've really been using this whole last month is that high-low. So I can see different high-low levels that are just easily plotted and I don't have to like drag my little cursor over them. But I use 3 because I want to see more data and I want to see it more frequently, but not so much that it like covers up my chart and I can't look at anything. So I use 3. Have I ever followed along with money bag signals? No. So money bag uses hotkeys and got a couple different, money bag got a bunch of things set up. I know Dennis did some digging into it. Moneybags had a couple of different things set up, and by the time he sends it out, and I've talked to him about it, by the time he actually gets an alert sent out, a lot of times it's already moved. He will go live trade sometimes and drop a link out for live trading. He's tried before to send out the alert fully typed out prior to getting in, but when he does that, kind of like with what would happen with us, is by the time we send it out, we might not be able to get in, right? And that's what he said was happening with him. Is he would try to send it out, and then he tried to go get in, and it already moved, it already hit a stop loss or something. So he sends him out after he's gotten filled, and so a lot of times you'll catch him, and sometimes you won't catch him. But I personally have never tried to follow along with him. He's also, doing equity positions, and I'm trading options. So that's me, D. What should the EMA numbers be set at? Got somebody in these. I'm not tripping. I don't. If I do use the EMA, I just throw on a 200 if I do, and I just trade in the overall direction of the 200. So the 200 is down, right? If the stock is below the 200, and I am using the 200 to gauge, then I'll just trade puts, no calls. And if the stock's above the 200, then I'll trade calls, no puts. If I'm using the 200, but I don't use EMAs like that. Some people use 9 and 21 EMAs. People I've heard use 5 and 10 or 8. If you're going to use EMAs, it's something you should just test out on your own and see what works best for you and your trading style. We all caught up on questions. Other questions y'all got? See what y'all talking about in the spam channel. Crazy folks really be pretending to be me, trying to hit y'all. Oh God. He tried to get me to join me too. He was having a conversation with a scammer. Sorry. I'm great. Sorry to intrude your privacy. I felt like reaching out to everyone individually to know how the market is treating everyone. That don't even sound like me. Y'all know good and well I ain't gonna reach out to everybody individually. JJ will be on a Zoom like, yeah, y'all can DM us. Y'all can DM me and Zay and Jourdan. I'm like, no, don't DM me, boss. Look, I ain't gonna put nobody out, but I celebrate. Y'all be seeing my channel. I celebrate when my DMs are empty. Yeah, so no, I don't say intrude. They need to do better research on me. But yeah, that's definitely a spammer, a scammer. I'll go ahead and kick them out. Y'all just be careful. And just, I guess, like, ask for real. Like, they even copy the fact that I say I respond. It takes 3 days for me to respond to DMs. So this is the second time that's happened. I don't see them as in the chat though. I don't know if somebody else already kicked them out. Oh, that's a May. Okay, I might have already kicked them out. I know I kicked somebody else out. But yeah, I'm not gonna DM y'all first on Instagram. I'm not gonna DM y'all first on here, unless it's like directly responding to something. So if I put something in announcements that says, put an emoji here if you want to give feedback on the group chat, and then next thing you know, you get a DM with a link that says below is a survey for feedback. That's me, all right? But I'm not about to DM you and say, hey, how's your trading going? You in the group chat with us. I know how your trading going. You turn, all right? Yeah, no. So protect yourselves. Be careful. I'm not going to DM you on Instagram. The fake Jourdan sent you a wave. Yeah, nah. I don't do that either, unless y'all wave. I don't just send a little. Anyway, all right. How long have I been trading, and what was the pivot moment that I became a consistent and profitable trader? So I've been trading. This is my 10th year in the market. I've been trading 7 of those 10 years. The first 3, I was focused on long-term investing. So this is my 10th year, 3 long-term investing, 3 swing trading, and then I did 3 where I was swing trading options, or 2.5 where I was swing trading options. And then now I day trade options. And I'm day trading options on a 1 minute. I started out beginning of this year, day trading off the 5 and a 30 minute. In this past month is when I just started trading strictly off of 1 minute. And I would have never thought that I'd be day trading off a 1 minute chart and making money consistently doing it, right? So to answer the second question about what was the pivotal moment that helped me become a consistent and profitable trader, I'd say the biggest thing that contributed to that was, one, like me setting rules for myself, but the rules came from me logging my trades. So I wasn't consistently doing it, but what I noticed was, before I was trading like full time, what I noticed was when I logged my trades, I would finish with like an 80% win rate for the month. And I would double my account or triple my account that month. So when you're logging them, like, one, I made my log public. Like, I shared it with my friends and my family who knew I traded and knew a little bit. So I taught them a little bit. And they can, be like, hey, bro, you done lost 4 trades in a row. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So think that. But then 2, when I was logging my trades, I'll keep up with what strategy or what rules led me to take the trade. And I could see that, trading off of bullish engulfing candles for entries were not working, but bearish engulfing candles for puts were working. And I was swing trading. Based off of support and resistance, trend, and candlesticks. So yeah, that's what did it for me. Was logging my trades, and I could see what was working for me and what wasn't. And then once I saw, okay, cool, when I trade just like this, I win and make money, and I double my account every month, pretty much. Cool. I think I do need to. Only thing I don't think I'm able to always clearly communicate is my contract rules. And that's because the contracts and position sizing I take is never really consistent. So like lottos might just be 1 contract, but then swings, might be 2 contracts or 3 contracts for the smaller account. And then when I'm doing the like some of the day trades could be a larger portion of the account. Like I don't recommend this, but I keep stuff real with y'all, bro. Like I've put 80% of my account on trades before, but that's trades with a stop loss is like 20 cents. Like I showed on the live today, right? We moved our stop loss to the point where our stop loss was in profit. And that's what I talk about all the time on my channel is Dennis. Yeah, bro. That moves a little different. But it's more lax. But that man said he full report basically everything on a $50 account. Dennis, I'm gonna leave your comment in the chat, bro. I don't drop all that, bro. You gotta qualify. All right. What's the best strategy to trade SPY, breakouts, or reversals? The best strategy? I don't know. I don't know what the best strategy is. Strategy that works for me is trading breaks of structure on SPY. Just looking at highs and lows, baby. Highs and lows, patterns, triangles, flags. That's what's worked for me. But I don't know what the best is. And I don't think there ever is a best because it really depends on what's best for you. As somebody who has time freedom and I can choose to sit here and look at a 1 minute chart all day, every day if I want to, it's easier for me to trade stuff on a 1 minute chart and look at reversals and breakouts on a 1 minute chart. If I was trading or if I was working full time again, I couldn't sit and look at a 1 minute chart all day, then the strategy might be different, so it's going to depend. Depends on how aggressive you are, right? As somebody who has enough savings, but also income to where, I could choose to be more aggressive with part of my portfolio. Like I did with the account that I just showed y'all, I doubled in a week. All right, so now I'm splitting. I had the account, started the account with $1,000 at 1 p.m. Central on Tuesday. Now it's at $2,100. It's Friday. And so I'm going to split $1,000 of that to be more aggressive and day trade with. And then the other $1,000 is going to be going into swing trades. Or usually some lower risk trades, like some debit spreads that got like a month out on them. So it varies. when I trade breakouts, 0 DTE contracts, am I trading in the money, at the money, or never seen an NTM? I'm assuming you're gonna use me out the money. Usually same day expirations. Usually when I'm day trading, usually depending on the stock and the account that I'm trading, because I call trades. Majority of the time, I call trades off of a smaller account for y'all. When I'm trading like my main account that has a higher account balance, then a lot of times I am going at the money. I'll go in the money, right? Because you don't need to take extra risk by going out the money. So realistically, I'm cool with a 20%. Kind of like Moody taking 5%, because Moody's buying a bunch of contracts. Like I'm the same way. Like, bro, I'm going in the money because it's safer and I'm still gonna make money. I'm not stressed for trying to get 100% on this trade. Just give me 20% and I'm cool. So that's that. But on my smaller accounts, usually I am doing a at the money or a one strike out the money. Where can you find the trading courses for the lifetime membership? Drop a support ticket, bro. We'll get you at it. Send your email that you want in a support ticket. All right. So I'll see if we got any more questions. It's 9:13 for me, 10:13 for Eastern. So 9:15, I'll go ahead and finish any other questions, and then I'll let y'all unmute yourselves. We can chop it up. We can chop it up. We can chop it up. What other questions y'all got? Yeah, these folks that be DMing y'all is a mess, man. And y'all be thinking y'all talking to me. Tim man said, sorry to intrude your privacy. Y'all should have known that wasn't me. Intrude on your privacy. If I'm gonna intrude, I'm gonna intrude. I ain't gonna apologize. Too many Fordins out there. All right, Olivier. Have a good night, bro. Is there a class on drawing trend lines? That'd probably be any chart class you hop on will have somebody showing trend lines or going over it to some extent. So when is the mansion meetup? We gotta plan it, bro. We gotta plan it in the lifetime members only chat. I think we figured out pretty much a location. We kind of got the location squared away. I think we might just have a vote on a location out of like 2 places that we got. But we'll figure it out, bro. And yeah, for a class on trend lines, any chart class, you could just literally ask them to show how they draw trend lines. Or go watch classes that we've done. Go watch one of our watch list classes in my video lessons. Or watch one of Moody's chart classes. Or watch one of my classes. Watch my live trading. Because when I'm live trading, I still answer questions. Like if I'm not getting in a position, I'll still answer questions. And I can still look at the chart and see what I'm seeing and then still answer questions in a way. Did I decide on the account fund amount for the Tesla for Tesla challenge? So you can't figure the support ticket out. Don't get you a place to type. Shit. You gotta hit the actual thing that says open the support ticket. Tag me in the general chat, bro, for trying to figure out the support ticket. D, when it comes to the Tesla for Tesla, no, man. See, there you go, Dennis. It's like I started trying some stuff out for Tesla, and I think it's just a challenge concept. When I'm talking about a challenge concept, it leads to me trading differently, right? Like if you've seen, I don't know how long you've been in the chat, D, but you saw how I was trading when I was doing the 1K challenge. And it really was just like, I allowed everyone's input to throw me off. And now I'm trying to consider all of y'all, and people think that I should do this type of stop loss. And I'm like, right. But then when I traded myself, I'm fine, right? So ever since I stopped worrying about that 1K account challenge and calling out contracts and people freaking out about a 20% stop loss or whatever, ever since then it's been up. So I still haven't like dropped the plan of doing it, but I'm just trying to get, I guess, more comfortable with it. There you go, Dennis. Y'all gonna collab. All right, last question I'm answering. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all on mute. We can talk. I would like to pick a file expiration and then perform the trade as a day trade. I realize the rapid move up or down affects your trading psychology. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with day trading something that has an extra week on it. I think that's safer as you start to build up. To some extent, this isn't like a technical answer, but I think to some extent, trading an extra week of time, this isn't technical again, but kind of like just a theoretical type of sense. It gives you the same kind of benefit that a spread gives you, because trading a spread is going to help out with your theta because you're also selling contracts. So time decay on a debit spread or spread that you're taking a debit in, time decay isn't going to hurt you as much. And then on anything that you're getting a credit on, time decay is actually going to help you. Theta is going to help you when you're taking in a credit and collecting a premium. So I think getting more expiration is fine. And then you can still day trade it, or you can have the comfortability to swing it. All right, so I'm gonna let y'all unmute. I'm gonna stop the recording for now and then start a new recording. Oops, I stopped to share it too. That's all right.